The mommy feed me sound of a crow. Yeah.
We are here in Addison at Otter Creek Wildlife Rescue, and today Julianna and her daughter Sophia are going to introduce me to some of the birds and mammals in their care who are being rehabilitated.
We just want to keep everybody clean and warm. Hi, baby. And baby birds, this is their like mommy feed me sound. And every species has a different mommy feed me sound. Two Grackles. You can see the pink mouse, or the Grackles.
It's a juvenile raven. And he was found actually as a fledgling, and it's really hard because a lot of times people will call us about fledglings and we have to determine whether it's actually orphaned. So I normally tell people to watch for as long as possible to see if there's any parents nearby, and in his case there were not.
Every animal who comes into our care is at a disadvantage because it got in trouble one way or another, ended up being raised by well-meaning but human caretakers, so they don't have parents showing them the way, and they don't have siblings who are also learning alongside. We try to, combine so there aren't too many singletons, but every bird or mammal who comes into our care is at a disadvantage. So we're always thinking, how do I give this animal the best chance?
Mom, how many animals do you have right now?
I have no idea, way too many.
Do you think like 80?
Most of our creatures are found by someone else.
Yes.
And then Sophia gets a call, and this time of year we can be getting 20 calls a day.
So someone texted me saying that this baby robin jumped out of its nest about 15 seconds before her chihuahua could get to it. So for songbirds, like we have people bringing us birds and mammals from the Northeast Kingdom and from as far down as like Bennington, so like both sides of the state. That's our thing, like we'll never discriminate against anything, like we will take literally any species, and we kind of actually love gravitating towards the ones that a lot of people wouldn't take.
And I'll go, and she'll go, boop, 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 and I'll go, boop, 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 boop. It's just, she's so charming. Here you go.
Have people compared you to Snow White?
Yes, actually.
Yeah. Look at that. You have a bird on your head.
I often have birds on my head, and I often have bird poop in my hair. The first bird I ever rehabbed was a baby starling, and it fell out of its nest, was making this weird sound. So there.
And did they call you the crazy bird lady? That's what
No, they didn't really. I just called myself that. No, they were just like, oh, bring it to Julianna. She knows what to do. Look at those tiny little beaks. There.
So like when I was a kid, I found a baby house sparrow that I raised. I raised probably 20 or 30 deer mice over the years.
She was completely fearless from the start.
Yeah, I used to swim with water snakes as a kid. I thought they were so cool, and like play with spiders and stuff, which now I know is rude.
And she would make ant trails in the house.
I would put a variety of different foods and out for the ants and literally spend hours like observing which ones they liked best. I feel like it's a privilege to be able to be up close to these creatures and be a part of their lives as well.
She's amazing. I mean, at this point, she's one of the most competent rehabbers of pretty much any species that we've ever touched in Vermont.
And they get very excited about the bottle. They recognize it right away. There is a lot of our day just spent feeding them, and a lot of times with mixing mammals and birds, because mammals have to be fed every few hours, whereas birds have to be fed about every half hour to 40 minutes, depending on what the bird is and its age, but they don't need to be fed through the night. So they kind of have like opposite schedules.
We became a 501c3 about 4 years ago. I think it coincided with my being diagnosed with leukemia, because I realized I could no longer work 3 jobs and this. I was going to be dead. I was diagnosed in 2014, and they told me I wouldn't live out 2014. If there were other people who could do this and I didn't have to right now, I'd be so grateful. Because what I really need to pay attention to is getting myself well. I need cage rest. North America's only marsupial. Yeah.
I don't live here anymore, but I spend a lot of time here, especially in the summer. But he had a big hole in the side of his mouth, and then like part of his wing was actually ripped off.
She is amazing. She's like, I'm like the mommy and she's the doctor. And I couldn't be without her.
But I couldn't be without you either.
I order 20,000 medium mealworms every week. So that's $142 a week just on mealworms.
People are always like, oh, wildlife rehab, is that your second job? And I'm like, no, that's why I have a second job. So I'm a medic in the Army National Guard, but I also do private home care for different people. And then I'm also full-time in nursing school during the school year. But fortunately in the summer, which is the craziest animal season, I have that off.
So people almost never see them. Like one of the most common things people say about our flying squirrels is, what? I didn't know we had flying squirrels in Vermont. And an opossum would be on their mom's body, you know, at this age. They would never be alone. They would be surrounded by siblings and just clinging to their mom. Cleanliness is a big deal for birds because their feathers must be healthy.
So there's lots of poop pickup in
There
this.
is so much poop. And the bigger the bird, the bigger the poop. Oh yeah, crow poop.
You talked about the poop, so I gotta follow some of the poop.
That's crow poop. Almost hit your shoe.
So much feeding, much cleaning.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Yes. Much cleaning.
This is baby barred owl. And she was found in the middle of the road in Rutland. The first thing we generally do is tell people look for a nest and see if you can find the nest and maybe put the baby back because we never want to kidnap. Rat poison is so bad. And every predator who eats rodents ends up getting harmed by it too. Oh my goodness, this is too cute.
This is how he sleeps.
Is this a very relaxed raven?
Yes, outdoor cats, we get so much mangled, maimed, suffering, tortured birds and small mammals from people who let their cats roam free outdoors.
Yeah.
So hot tip, never give a baby bird water in an open beak, any kind of liquid.
So if you give them water, the water will go into that hole and it'll go right to their lungs.
And with mammals, they must be warm before they're fed. If you feed a cold mammal, you'll probably kill it because it can't digest it. And people like Ellen and Helena and Donna and Tanya, you know, there's lots of rehabbers, Craig, you know, who we cross-pollinate with.
And we're so lucky also, we have an amazing network of volunteer transporters. A lot of them are through Green Mountain Animal Defenders.
We need more rehabbers in this state. You
So
know,
if you
you're
too
on
want
your
to
own.
spend all your time and money taking care of wildlife, give us a call and we'll tell you how.
Yeah, that's right. One of the reasons we do it is the animals, the birds and the mammals. Another reason is the people. 40 Harley guys, you know, and the lead guy had a baby sparrow in his shirt. They drove 2 hours down here to bring us this pigeon.
At like 11 o'clock at night.
We're not saving species or, you know, what we do isn't gonna be the make it or break it. You know, we're raising 200 million starlings at the moment. The species is fine, you know, but it helps the individual.
Yeah, and
It
that's
helps the individual animal and it helps the individual person who cared enough to drop what they were doing that day and look for help. I want to live in a world where people care. And so if we don't care enough to do it, no, why do we expect them to? But I gotta get well too.
So if you would like to learn more about becoming a wildlife rehabber, you can reach out to Sophia on Facebook at Otter Creek Wildlife Rescue. And we will get stuck in Vermont with you again and this raven real soon.
we have a lot of family pictures of an animal moving and her being like, "Hi, sweetie," and maybe like, "Stop talking."
Exactly. It's so true.
Okay, well then this is
Like our whole family album.
Also, a word about pest control. Also, there is a company called